There are moments in life when everything around you looks like it's falling apart. Doors slam shut, people walk away, your prayers seem to echo into silence. But pause right here and listen closely. This isn't evidence of your failure, nor a sign that you're cursed. It is the invisible hand of the spiritual realm reordering the battlefield in your favor. What you see may look like chaos, but heaven calls it alignment. You're not just surviving, you're being declared victorious in a realm far greater than your eyes can see. Before we begin, if this message resonates with your spirit, I invite you to comment your warmest wishes below, and drop a 333 or 222 as a sign of your spiritual agreement. Share this with someone who might need a reminder of who they truly are. Welcome to the moment your soul has been waiting for. The realm of the unseen, the divine layer that surrounds all things, has already declared something over you. It isn't a whisper, it isn't a maybe, it's a roar that echoes through eternity. You have already won. That mountain you're staring at is already moved. That closed door has a key you don't even know you're holding. What's unfolding isn't chance. It's prophecy in motion. Some of you have been feeling a strange energy in the atmosphere lately, like you're walking through fog with a hidden compass in your chest. You feel things before they happen. You sense shifts before they show up. That's not imagination. That's spiritual sensitivity. You're aligned with a frequency higher than logic. While the world scrambles for control and certainty, you've been called to a place of divine trust. And this trust? It's what activates heaven's declarations over your life. Victory doesn't always show up in trophies or applause. Sometimes it shows up in the stillness, in the resilience to get back up, in the peace you carry even when your world is on fire. What the spiritual realm knows about you is something your human eyes haven't fully caught up to yet. You are royalty in disguise. A warrior cloaked in silence. An answered prayer walking among the doubters. You may not see the crown yet, but your footsteps are leaving marks in both time and eternity. Every tear you've shed in the dark? It's watering the soil for your future harvest. The rejection you faced? It was divine redirection. The delay? It wasn't a denial. It was God holding back lesser things to make space for the abundance that matches your soul's true size. See, the spiritual realm isn't like the world we walk in. It doesn't move by likes, trends, or timing. It moves by truth, by calling, and by covenant. And the covenant over you is sealed in victory. This is why, even when you feel forgotten by the world, heaven remembers you by name. You were never meant to blend in. You were sent here to disrupt, to rise, to rebuild, and that makes you dangerous to darkness. People may have tried to define you by your mistakes, by your history, or even by your silence. But none of them saw what the spiritual realm saw, the flame in your belly that wouldn't go out no matter how many storms tried to suffocate it. You've carried pain, yes, but you also carry prophecy. You've walked through loss, yes, but you're also the living evidence that resurrection is real. The reason life hasn't broken you? It's because you're not ordinary. You're marked. And let's be clear about one thing. Being marked doesn't mean the journey is easy. It means your steps are ordered. It means divine timing is governing your life, even when you don't understand the delays, even when the silence feels cruel. Every "not yet" you've ever heard was heaven's way of saying, "Not this version of you, wait until you evolve." And evolve you did. Don't let your current circumstances convince you that you've been overlooked. You're not waiting for the breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. Every force that tried to bury you has underestimated the power of the seed God planted in you. And now, that seed is breaking open from the inside. That seed is about to become a tree others find shade under. Your growth, your glow, your greatness, none of it is accidental. Heaven doesn't make noise to prove a point. It speaks through signs, through inner confirmations, through divine alignments. And the signs around you? They've been loud lately. Opportunities that come out of nowhere. People showing up at the right time. Ideas that feel too big for you to think alone. That's not coincidence. That's your confirmation. The spiritual realm has been orchestrating miracles on your behalf behind closed curtains. The same way you can't see the roots growing underground until the plant breaks the surface, the world hasn't seen what's about to burst through your soil. But heaven sees. Heaven has been preparing the room, rehearsing your name in holy chambers, and aligning the right moments so that when your time comes, nothing can stop it. And here's what you need to remember. Your job is not to force the outcome. Your job is to stay in alignment. Stay true to your spirit. Keep your heart clean. Speak truth. Walk in integrity. Rest when needed. Move when prompted. Because when spiritual victory has already been declared, the only thing that can delay it is disbelief. So believe. Not just with your words, but with your actions, your choices, your courage. The spiritual realm responds to faith in motion, not just faith in emotion. This is your time to walk like you've already won, to live like the crown has already been placed on your head, and to speak like your destiny is already unfolding, because it is. You see, many people wait for physical evidence before they start believing. They wait for money in the account, the relationship to show up, the job offer to land. But the spiritually awakened ones, the chosen, you're built differently. You move first in faith, not sight. You sense it before it materializes. And this is why you're often misunderstood, even by those closest to you. They don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. But you weren't sent here to be understood. You were sent to fulfill. Your blessing, your elevation, your breakthrough. It's not coming from a random alignment of earthly circumstances. It's coming from a divine decree. A spiritual decision has already been made concerning your life. And that's why even the plans that were meant to destroy you have started working in your favor. The betrayal became fuel. The delay became depth. The heartbreak made room for healing. What was meant for evil has already been repurposed by heaven. The spiritual realm doesn't forget. It keeps record of every quiet act of love, every selfless moment, every time you chose forgiveness over revenge. Nothing you've done in the dark has gone unnoticed in the light. And now, it's your harvest season. This isn't wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. And spiritual law says that what is sown in tears will be reaped in joy. That's why you've been sensing the shift in your energy lately. It's the vibration of manifestation. But don't get it twisted. You cannot play around with this energy. You're in a divine window. And the opportunities, revelations, and divine connections that show up in this space require your full attention. Heaven has already marked you victorious, yes, but that victory must be honored by your obedience. When the signs start showing, move. When the door opens, walk through it. When your spirit is nudged, don't delay. Why? Because spiritual energy, though powerful, is not permanent unless you engage with it. Think about how many times you received a powerful idea, but you hesitated. Or how many times you felt a deep inner confirmation, but fear stopped you. You see, the energy of spiritual breakthroughs often comes in waves. If you do not rise with the wave, you risk watching it pass you by. That's why this moment is so urgent. You're not being asked to chase, you're being positioned to respond. Some of you have been talking about your dreams, your visions, your plans, for years. But there's a shift happening now that requires less talk and more action. The angels around you aren't responding to endless thoughts. They're responding to your courage, your alignment. your willingness to go even when you don't feel ready. Heaven isn't looking for perfect performance, it's looking for pure-hearted obedience. The reason you feel like the energy around you is buzzing, like something huge is about to happen, is because it is. And it's not just for everyone. It's specifically tied to your journey, your soul, your divine role in this era. You've been kept hidden, maybe even humbled, but not forgotten. You've been trained in silence so you can rise in strength. The applause is coming later, but for now, you're being asked to trust the silence as proof of preparation. Your name is being whispered in rooms your feet haven't entered yet. And the only reason you haven't walked into them yet is because God has been preserving the timing. Think about it. How many things have fallen apart lately, only to make space for something better? That's not coincidence. That's correction. That's divine redirection. Heaven has a way of breaking what's not built for you before it blesses you with what is. You've been praying for confirmation, and here it is. That gentle ache in your spirit to level up? That stirring in your chest to stop hiding your gifts? That's not anxiety. That's divine urgency. That's the spiritual realm pressing against your old limits, trying to pull you into alignment with your highest self. And listen closely. Your highest self already exists in the spiritual realm. You are not becoming that version. You are remembering them. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over comfort, faith over fear, you are stepping into who you were always meant to be. You are reclaiming your divine identity. This journey won't always feel glorious. There will still be moments of doubt, fatigue, loneliness. But even in that, you're being watched over. The same God who declared your victory has also assigned help to you. That's why the right people show up at the exact right time. That's why things fall apart only to fall into place. You're not lucky, you're led. So take this seriously. You're not in waiting, you're in activation. The spiritual realm has already completed its part. Now it's your turn. You must act like you believe the promise. You must show up like you know you've already won. This is the energy that unlocks overflow. Not just abundance in the physical, but joy, peace, alignment, and clarity. You're not here by mistake. You didn't stumble on this message randomly. You were meant to hear this now, today, because something sacred is happening. You are walking through a divine portal. And on the other side of this obedience, a life that looks like your wildest prayers. There's a reason you've been feeling different lately. A reason the things you used to tolerate now feel unbearable. A reason why your spirit no longer allows you to sit in rooms that shrink you, or to stay in routines that numb you. It's not just personal growth, it's spiritual alignment. When heaven declares your victory, the earth must respond. And you, chosen one, are living proof that something unseen is reshaping everything around you. Even your restlessness has meaning. The dissatisfaction, the hunger, the yearning, they're not signs of failure or impatience. They are divine indicators that your atmosphere is no longer compatible with your destiny. What used to fulfill you now leaves you empty because you've outgrown it. What once felt safe now feels suffocating because your wings are expanding. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone around you will understand this evolution. Some will try to keep you tethered to your old self, not out of malice, but out of comfort. And this is where discernment becomes your armor. Because if you listen to the noise of the world, you'll forget the whisper of heaven. The whisper that told you, you are more than your circumstances, you are greater than your wounds, and your future holds more light than your past ever held darkness. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the time to edit yourself to fit into old containers. This is the season to let your fullness emerge. Yes, it may intimidate some. Yes, it may cost you connections. But obedience is rarely comfortable. It's sacred. And when you follow divine instruction, you don't just survive, you rise. Understand this deeply. Your spiritual victory is not something you have to hustle for. It's something you live from. You're not fighting to win. You're enforcing a win that's already been declared in realms higher than this world. And when you walk with that knowledge, when you move with that posture, everything begins to align faster. Because now, you're not moving from fear, you're moving from favor. The doors that are about to open for you aren't normal doors. They are legacy doors. Timed gates that have been waiting for your readiness. And now, the spiritual realm has signaled, you're ready. Your humility has qualified you. Your patience has crowned you. Your hiddenness has refined you. And now, the light is calling your name. This is why everything has been so quiet lately. Because heaven does its most powerful work in silence. The kind of silence that confuses the enemy. The kind that causes people to overlook you. But what they don't realize is that God hides his greatest warriors in plain sight, until the moment of unveiling. You've been veiled for protection, not punishment. Covered for refinement, not rejection. But now, the veil is lifting. And you must be prepared to carry what you've been praying for. You must become the version of you that can sustain the blessing. Not just receive it, not just touch it, but protect it, multiply it, share it, live it out in such a way that people don't see your ego, they see God's fingerprints all over your life. That's the assignment now. To be a vessel, a walking miracle, a living testimony. You've cried too many nights for this moment. You've sacrificed too much. You've rebuilt from ruins. And now heaven is responding, not with pity, but with purpose. You're not being rescued. You're being revealed. It's your glow-up season, yes, but not just in looks or lifestyle. In frequency, in vibration, in anointing. You're entering a level of awareness where you don't need validation to feel whole. Where your peace is no longer negotiable. Where you no longer explain your calling to people who were never meant to understand it. Because the chosen path is narrow, and it can feel lonely. But never forget, it's also laced with glory, with divine appointments, with supernatural alignments. That's why so much had to be stripped away first. The people, the habits, the patterns, they couldn't come with you. Not because they were evil, but because they were incomplete chapters. And now, the page has turned. Your life is entering the season of open doors, of new oil, of favor that doesn't make sense on paper. And it's all happening because the spiritual realm declared it before you ever saw a sign. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of favor that accelerates timelines. That's the kind of identity you carry now. And no matter what tries to rise against you, doubt, fear, opposition, it can't override the heavenly verdict. You have already won. Not because of your perfection, but because of your positioning. Not because of your efforts, but because of your surrender. Not because you never fell, but because every time you did, you got back up wiser. This is your moment. Your vibration is being felt in rooms your name hasn't entered yet. Your spirit is already ahead of your body. Your victory is already written. And now you're simply catching up to the glory that's been waiting on you all along. Chosen one, take this moment to breathe it in. The season you've been waiting for is not coming, it's already here. And it's not knocking gently. It's announcing itself with signs, synchronicities, confirmations, and inner convictions. If your soul has been stirred, if your spirit has been more sensitive lately, that's not anxiety, that's awareness. Heaven is communicating louder than ever, and it's calling your name. But remember, a declared victory does not mean passive waiting. It means divine partnership. You must now meet your revelation with bold action, with holy confidence, with the kind of faith that says, even if I can't see it yet, I'll walk like it's done. Because it is done. The delay was divine. The pruning was sacred. The rejection was protection. And now you are in alignment with a current that cannot be stopped. Not by fear. Not by people. Not even by your past self. So, what now? You rise. You walk through those doors without apology. You speak without shrinking. You act without over-explaining. Because this version of you is no longer seeking permission to live fully. This version of you understands that heaven already wrote the final chapter, and it ends in victory, impact, legacy, and light. You're not the same person who started this journey. You're sharper now, clearer, less interested in surface noise and more committed to soul truth. You've been tempered by fire and shaped by silence. That combination is lethal to the enemy and magnetic to destiny. So protect your energy. Steward your time. Speak life over your dreams. Stay close to those who remind you of your divine identity. And when in doubt, return to this truth. You are not trying to win, you are walking in a victory that's already yours. Let your presence be a prayer. Let your movement be prophetic. Let your silence be a sermon. You don't have to convince anyone of your value anymore. Your fruit will speak for itself. You don't have to chase what's yours. You attract it through alignment. And you don't have to fear losing what was never meant for you. Everything real, everything divine, everything designed specifically for you, it's magnetized to your soul's frequency. So now, walk like you know it. Breathe like you believe it. Decide once and for all that you will no longer move from survival, but from spirit. That you'll no longer live to prove, but to express. That you'll no longer let doubt narrate your destiny. The spiritual realm has already declared you victorious. All that's left is to live like it.